All right, our first item of business is with Erica. Come on up, Erica.
Thank you for meeting with me.
See what you got.
I'm sure this is getting redundant because I've asked for comments so many times now, so I'm sorry.
I guess we usually don't ask for them, so we weren't quite sure what to do about that.
Yeah.
Usually we find out at the end.
Well, we're trying to prevent that this time. So the primary reason I am here is because the ZBA had asked the applicant for an alternate layout for buildings 1 and 2. And so that's gonna impact the waivers that they're requesting from Board of Health. So with that said, they said, can you go back to Board of Health and just see which alternate they prefer? Because if it's gonna impact, having to get away from the Board of Health regulations, we want their input. So, just to kind of give you some background on why the ZBA had requested the waiver. So many months ago, we had hired Horsley Witten Group, a civil engineering firm, to do a review of the project. We had gone out on a site visit, myself, Horsley Witten, and Rebecca Longwell. And their wetland scientists had questioned the wetland line. So fast forward months later, the applicant agreed to hire a third-party consultant to go out and kind of confirm the wetland line. So in doing that, that moved this wetland line forward. So it caused units 1 and 2 and their decks to encroach further into the 25-foot buffer zone. And I don't know how familiar you are with our local wetland bylaw, but they consider the 25-foot buffer an actual wetland resource area.
Right. It's a no build.
Yeah, exactly, no build. So with that said, the ZBA then asked the applicant, what can you do there? So this is the alternate location here. These are the buildings moved forward with the decks. In doing that, they shortened the driveway lengths. They could no longer meet the 10-foot offset from the foundation to the septic tank. So then they moved it to the side here. But in doing that, now they're no longer 50 feet from the wetland. They're only 41 feet. So now the ZBA has to make this decision at their next meeting, which layout is better. Do we pull the building further away from the wetlands, still within that 25-foot, still within that 25 foot, still causing alteration to the wetland area, the wetland buffer area,
But less.
But in doing that, now not meeting a local Board of Health regulation. So, and I think, Chris, we talked briefly about this on the phone. So I don't know if it's something where we select the alternative layout and then we condition the permit to say, the septic tank needs to be leak tested, if that would be the approach of the board.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Okay.
What's Title 5?
25?
25, all right, well, then, above 20, the state rates then.
And I think the other option too is we could go back to the applicant and say, well, is there another location besides, for the septic tank besides here on the side of the building? There's a pump chamber associated with these systems, so that's like a 2-inch line then, right?
Well, yes, the structure is roughly the size of the septic tank, but from the pump chamber to the D-box would be a 2-inch force.
Okay. Because I didn't know if because these then, I assume, these are all 2-inch lines. I didn't know if they could kind of move that and kind of get it so that they could still meet that 10-foot offset from the septic tank. That could be another possibility, is that we go back to the applicant and say, well.
There's also a 10-foot offset to property line though, so they might start to, if they push 10 out from the building, they might start to encroach on that 10-foot.
That's true, so here's the proposed property line here. And actually, that was a question I had, and maybe it's more for the applicant. I'm trying to understand why they need to subdivide this project into 2 lots. Is it driven by septic and well? I mean, why couldn't they?
I can't comment on why, but without the lot separation, I think the wells would probably fall under public water supply definition, serving greater than 25 people greater than 60 days a year, based on the number of bedrooms that are proposed. Because there's an assumption of 2 people per.
So it's based on the number of connections to the
So I'm
water.
guessing that's the reason, but again, I don't know the actual reason.
All right. And once they get to Board of Health, they're gonna have to go to DEP anyway to get confirmation whether or not they need a public
We
water
do
supply,
require
right?
an opinion from the state on they look at the final ownership documents,
Mhm.
DEP's legal staff, and
Okay.
that would determine, if they're truly gonna be separately owned, they would remain private wells.
Originally, the state had growled that they weren't going to allow the subdivision of property to get around the public water supply, but they seem to have been sort of softening that stance, and particularly in affordable housing, allowing it to be done.
Yeah.
It's actually going the other way now, they're beginning to go the other
Oh,
direction.
now they're going the other direction?
So see, I thought they were pretty, I mean, again, Mark O'Hagan's project, that was a cluster of wells that all,
Right, and now in Harvard, there's a similar proposal with Mark, and they're going public. So, they've changed, they're kind of heading in a different direction.
So what was what are the two alternatives then? So there's this one.
So it's a little hard to see, so the, what they had initially proposed, is
Mhm.
this building here, it's underneath. What I've highlighted in blue is the alternative, and
Yeah.
so what they originally proposed, so this darker outline here,
Mhm.
is the outline of the buildings, and then these are the decks associated with that building, those buildings.
Mhm.
so they pulled it out of the 25 feet.
The building, but not the deck, right?
They've
How much of the
moved, they've
deck
shifted
too?
both, I can tell you.
Yeah, I don't think the
exactly.
deck can't even go in 25 feet.
Um,
So I guess in terms of, if you're asking us what is a better plan, I would almost say that this plan is a better plan, because you can make sure that those tanks you can treat those tanks to be watertight.
Mhm.
There can be a testing requirement put on those,
and is
which
that-
is not onerous. I
And
mean-
that's the concern with it being closer to the wetland, I assume?
Yeah.
That
Well,
you
and
have
again,
water.
here's our problem, where historically 40Bs have come through the town, and it's almost been an automatic waiver of local regs. It's been an automatic Title V default. And again, and not to say that that's the way it should be, it's just the way it's happened historically for us. So, I'm happy to give you or we're happy as a board to give you our opinion of stuff, but they could also say, no, we don't care, we're gonna take it to the state at Title V requirements. So I guess if this is an opportunity to enhance the plan, we're happy to do that. We'd love to see those tanks be, what they should be. We'd love to see some pre-treatment with a fast system.
And they've proposed that.
Yeah, so, and these aren't onerous things. I mean, this is, 40Bs, I'm sure you know better than we do, or it's just not I think it's a noble idea, but the implementation is just clumsy, and you get stuck with
It's challenging
stuff
for
like
the
this.
town, yeah.
So, for me, it's refreshing to be able to actually kind of add a little bit to it, as opposed to just kind of wait to the end and find out what we're told we get.
I guess with that said too, I didn't know if the board had any further comment on the list of waivers that they are requesting beyond just looking at that one waiver with the alternate location. So they're asking for the leaching facilities to be located within 10 feet of a property line, allowing leaching facilities to be located within 35 feet of an access drive.
Could I just hold on right
Oh,
there?
yeah,
Did you say leaching facility within 10 feet of a property line? That would be-
I'm sorry, to be located 10 feet.
Yeah, okay, because you can't be less than Title V.
This letter's in your packets too, if you want to read along.
And then the next one is the leaching area for lot 2B, to be located within 100 feet of the wetland. So they're proposing 50 feet, which is the minimum for Title V. And then for lot 2C leaching area, to be within 100 feet of the bordering of the wetland, which that one's 75 feet provided. And then the last one is for the leaching facilities servicing a separate building to be located within 30 feet of each other, and they have 20 feet provided.
So these are all within Title V?
Yeah, they're actually stating, it's allowed by Title
Page
V.
on
Yep.
that.
Towards the back.
Page 3, of that document.
It's like 6 pages after your folder.
So, Bill, that's pretty par for the course, I think, for any 40B we've seen in the past.
Correct. Right, adhering to Title V as a minimum standard, yeah.
And, I mean, in all honesty, I think the waiver to allow the leaching facilities to be within 100 feet of the wetland, if the ZBA were not to grant those waivers, that would drive, this project wouldn't be feasible at that
Right.
point. Because, I don't know how familiar you are with the site, but it's essentially surrounded by.
Yeah, it's a terrible place to put this many people, this much sewage, you know.
Yeah, there's significant wetland, significant floodplain, so it's a very challenging site. I mean, one thing that I may go back to the applicant or to the ZBA and say, look, as far as the separation between the leaching facilities, they're providing 20. I think your requirement is 30.
Yeah, it's kind of a default offset because
Oh,
of
is
the
it?
property, basically Title V says 10 feet to a property line, so if you have, each have being 10, that's 20. I think the town held 15. Chris mentioned to keep an area able to work between the leaching facility and the property line, but again, it ends up with a default 30, when you have 15 to each.
So I don't know if that's something that the board would recommend, let's try and meet that 30. I think there could be some wiggle room, there is a retaining wall here. I know you need to be 10 feet from no, I'm sorry, there's 10 feet right here between the retaining wall and the reserve area. So-
I'd rather give up that than crowd it any closer to the wetlands.
Mhm.
Right.
I'd let that go. And that is a nice to have to facilitate repairing the system in the future. Because you can get a number of construction machines in that 15-foot alley where 10 feet, they just can't maneuver at all. So, okay, they have to fix it the hard way. Hopefully they'll never have to fix it anyway if they do it right.
Mhm.
What is their appeal if Board of Appeals turns them down?
What is the next step?
Do they go to the state or
They
state?
do, they go to the state, so it's the Housing Appeals Committee that they can appeal to. And then at that point, the whole thing would get reviewed again. And it's happened in the past with Bolton, where we've conditioned a project to the point where they've considered it uneconomical for them to build, so they've appealed it. And then basically what happens is the state kind of demands it back to the town and says, hey, work it out, try and, make it work.
Right. That's kind of what we're bracing for here, because again,
Yeah.
that offset is a very good example. Yeah, it's really more a property line offset. In this case, it's not a systems offset, so, and yet it's an internally created property line, so it's not like it's my house to your house, it's part of the same
Yeah.
project, so it would be kind of hard to defend.
Okay, so that doesn't seem to be as much of a concern then, it sounds like. Okay.
No, I think, groundwater table, head of the groundwater table, some pretreatment with the fast system, pulling everything as far away as possible from the wetlands. I mean, these are all the good, if that's going the right direction, and you want to push it as hard as you can, but realizing you can't make it untenable, otherwise you may lose, some of your gains, I guess.
Okay. And then just back to my original question, it sounds like the board prefers the alternate location.
I think so, because, if
Makes sense, the fact that-
if we're gonna have a big problem at all, I mean, this system is 50 feet, but it meets Title V.
Right.
And my guess is, we're gonna have to live with it if the state is supporting affordable housing.
Right.
But, the tanks, I don't have a problem with them if they're properly leak tested.
Are
And you
there
could
any
go
other?
monolithic tank also to lose that center
Yeah.
seam, so those are
Yeah.
better tanks, that could be a simple requirement also.
Yeah.
Oh, can you I need to write that down? I don't know
Yeah.
what you just said.
Oh, monolithic septic tank and pump chamber?
New language to me, okay.
Well, basically, most, the old-fashioned concrete structures had a seam midway. Monolithic will pour right to the top, and they just put the top, so you lose that center seam, which is a common source of leak.
For all of them, or just for the one that,
Well, certainly if they're looking for that variance to offset to wetland, I think the board would say yes, or not, but require
so
that.
at a minimum for the septic tank for
And
units
pump
one and
chamber.
two? Oh, okay. yeah.
And is there a spec bill on like waterproofing? Like are they,
No, I mean, again,
Foundation
in theory,
code
the
or
watertight
something like that?
structures is supposed to be
True.
meeting the code requirement when purchased, but monolithic is for that center seam, which is really
Right.
the most likely spot. Because again, that whole
And that's-
perimeter of the tank is a seam with it, like a tar seal,
Okay,
whereas the other one's poured and they just put the top on, so there is no seam. There's actually no seam. Everything's above the water level in the tank, so there's really no thought that there'd be any type of leakage.
And it's really to their advantage, because that gets rid of, 99% of testing and messing and questioning and
Right.
trying to
So
fix a dribble or something, you just get the right tank, put it in, it's a couple bucks more, but you eliminate all the aggravation.
so the monolithic septic tanks, does that eliminate the need to do the leak test?
You could still do
But
it.
we'd still do it, but it'd be
Yeah.
very simplified.
Okay, so the board, so the ZBA could go back and condition it and say, okay, we're requiring those septic tanks for all of them. Testing for all of them. I mean, there's a lot of water out there.
Yeah, I don't think that's really that onerous a requirement.
No,
Okay.
Is
Are
this
there-
a one-time test or a?
Yeah. It is, usually it's a clear water test before, it sees any sewage.
Okay, but it's in the ground testing.
yeah.
Well, once it's
It's
in
installed.
place, we
Okay.
fill it up to the invert, and I check it, and then 24 hours later, check it again.
Yeah, the monolithic tank is made properly, about all you're gonna have for a problem is where the pipes go in and out,
Yeah,
and it's dribbling there.
yeah.
Versus trying to check this entire seam and make sure you don't have a trickle out.
Okay, what about the distribution box? Is there a concern with that?
Not really.
They're monolithic anyway, they just have a cover sitting on top
Okay.
and use the rubber seals on the,
And again, they're in the direct vicinity of the leaching area, so if by chance you had a leak, it's really in that same area, that same footprint.
Okay. Any additional conditions you can think of or recommendations?
find a better piece of land.
Besides that, a better place for a project.
Yeah, really, I'm really surprised that they're trying to do this on this difficult a piece of land. I mean, we went along with a single house and thought we were sort of stretching things then.
Yeah,
And to try to do this project, boy, they're really, it's a stretch, definitely. A stretch on a stretch. But
well, I appreciate your time.
certainly, anytime, we're happy to work with you, help you.
So, this will play out in short order, so
All right,
I'll report back to the ZBA now.
okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, nice to see you.
take care.
Jim,